All right, welcome to the 294th District Court. My name is Chris Martin. I'm going to call this morning's criminal docket. When you hear your name, please say present or here. Dorothy Harvey. Just let me know. I'm going to call you. If I don't hear your name, I'm going to write down something that your bossman's not going to like. Dorothy Harvey. Thank you. Dylan Meza. Jackie Quaid. I'm sorry, Jace Quaid. Am I saying your last name correct? Quaid. Lloyd Hallbrook. Jasdeep Nat. Daniel McGregor. Lucas Peary. Lucas Gareth Peary. Randy Session. Patrick Ulibarri. Andrea Whitaker. Bennett Watts. Joshua Hogue. Joshua Huffman. Nicole Jones. And Tu Nguyen. All right, is there anyone who's present in the courtroom and I've not called your name? Your last name, sir? Oh, Mr. LaFlash. All right, do we have any counsel that's ready, Mr. Manning? Yes, Judge. Who would you like to call first?
We can start with Mr. Session.
Mr. Session, if you'll come forward, sir. Court calls State of Texas versus Randy Session, CR 24-177 and CR 24-178. Mr. Manning, I show that he is set for docket call. Go ahead.
Yes, Judge. At this time, my client would like to announce ready. Request to be set on the jury selection docket.
All right, court will set Mr. Session for jury selection beginning this coming Monday, December 9th. Mr. Session will be required to report to the courthouse on the second floor downstairs. Mr. Session, you'll meet with a staff member of mine, and she'll go over your paperwork, give you a notice of setting, and you're going to continue to do that until your case is called for trial. Monday, you will not be going to trial. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And Mr. Manning's not going to be required to be here because your case is not going to be going to trial. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Manning, so I can have on the record, what was the offer, if any, made by the state that's been rejected by the defense?
Judge, my client maintains his innocence and did not request an offer in this case. I don't know if the state provided one or not, but if there was an offer, he rejects that.
Okay.
And I advised him also of the court's policy regarding pleas after this point in time, and he understands that position.
Thank you, Mr. Manning. All right, and so Mr. Session, make sure the pretrial release officer is likely to be down there on Monday for you to check in as well. If he's not, it's still your obligation to check in with the pretrial release officer. Okay?
Probably down the second floor.
They'll be downstairs, yes.
Okay.
And you're free to go.
Thank you.
Judge, next ready on Mr. McGregor.
Mr. McGregor. This is cause number CR 24-172, State versus Daniel Edward McGregor for pretrial.
Judge, we have no contested pretrial at this time. We've received an offer in this case. Request to be set on docket call.
All right, there being no contested pretrial motions, court sets Mr. McGregor for docket call. You available on January 9th, Mr. Manning?
Judge, is that the Thursday? Yes, Judge.
Court sets Mr. McGregor for docket call January 9th at 9 a.m. Once he signs, he's free to go.
Thank you, Judge. Sit right there, wait for the hallway. Judge, next ready on Miss Andrea Whitaker.
Ms. Whitaker. This is cause number CR 24-244, 245, 246, State of Texas versus Andrea Lauren Whitaker. And I show that we're set for arraignment in all three cases.
Judge, her name is spelled correctly. She understands the charges against her as well as the range of punishment. Her plea is not guilty. We request to be set on the pretrial docket.
All right, the court finding that Ms. Whitaker has waived the formal requirements of arraignment, enters her plea of not guilty into the record. Court sets this matter for pretrial hearing. Is January 9th enough time, Mr. Manning?
Yes, Judge, I believe we have a universal resolution of these cases in the works, so we should be able to get that done by then.
All right, court sets Ms. Whitaker for pretrial January 9th on all three cases at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Judge.
Once she signs, she's free to go.
Some more information.
Did you pull that notice? Did you pull up the notice? Who's next?
Judge, ready on Miss Dorothy Harvey.
All right, court call CR 24-231, State versus Dorothy Louise Harvey for arraignment.
Yes, Judge, I was just appointed in court to Miss Harvey's case. If I may just have a moment to show her the indictment.
Yes, sir.
So you're being accused of to be in return felony. The child, they're saying August 3rd, 20, felon, she caused injury to Ronald. It was 65 years old. Right. She did this time. Judge, my client's name is spelled correctly. She understands the charge against her as well as the range of punishment. At this time, she's pleading not guilty and requests to be set on the pretrial docket.
All right, court finding that Ms. Harvey, having waived the formal requirements of arraignment, enters her plea of not guilty into the record. Court sets Ms. Harvey for pretrial hearing on January 9th at 9 a.m. Ms. Harvey, have you met with the pretrial release officer, Mr. West, yet?
Yes, I talked to him. I have to go in and see him
Okay,
on my way out.
all right.
Yes, ma'am. And if I just go wait a moment. Judgment to be excused.
Your Honor, I apologize. One more matter. Victim's service coordinator has been in contact with the alleged victim in this case, and there is a request just to make sure that there's a no contact condition on the pretrial release.
I'll probably need to file a motion for that and give them notice, and then we'll set it, and then I can call it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, I believe we have paperwork for Mr. Ulibarri for our plea. And I will see if I can find Mr. Peary. He is.
Perry is here.
Okay,
He came in.
I'll get him reset after we have the paperwork.
Okay. Any other attorneys ready? Mr. White, you ready? Yes. You ready on Mr. Hoag?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hoag, if you'll come forward, sir. This is cause numbers CR 24-140, 259, 260, and 261. Mr. Hoag is set for arraignment in the latter three cases. Are you ready for arraignment?
That's correct, Your Honor. We've had an opportunity to go over the indictment. We understand the range of punishment and also what we are being charged with. Our name is spelled correctly. We do not need any formal reading of the indictment. We plead not guilty on all three cases. There's one that's set for docket call. I think that we probably need to try to see if there's a possibility we can get all four of these all tied together.
All right, the court finds that Mr. Hoag, having waived formal requirements of arraignment in cause numbers CR 24, 259, 260, and 261. Court enters his plea of not guilty into the record and sets the latter three matters for pretrial hearing. Are you available on January 9th?
I believe so.
All right, court sets, all cases for January 9th at 9 a.m.
I believe that's all I've got today.
All right. Do you have anything this afternoon, Mr. White? No, I don't. Okay, well, if you get bored in your office, come over to the jail. We'll get something for you to do. Mr. Nolan White, you ready?
Yes, sir. I got a couple of cases and then I've got two pleas that we're gonna do. Could we call Mr. Huffman?
Joshua Stephen Huffman, cause number CR 24-165. Mr. Huffman set for pretrial. Mr. White, go ahead.
Your Honor, we have received, some, we received discovery from the state. I've had a chance to review, everything, but there were a couple of discs, that just wouldn't play. They're corrupted. We're trying to get that, worked out. We're gonna need another pretrial if the state doesn't object.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
January 9th, Mr. White.
Can we?
I'm sorry. I think we were setting you on the 21st.
Yes, sir.
Apologize for my
No
poor
problem.
memory. All right, court sets Mr. Huffman for additional pretrial on January 21st at 9 a.m. Huffman, my notes say that you're delinquent a little bit on your bond supervision fees of $50.
Okay, I'll get that to him.
When can you get that paid?
Probably either this evening or tomorrow.
Okay, all right, I'm just gonna note that you're gonna take care of it this week.
Yes, sir.
All right, so
Your Honor, I've got a case this afternoon on Mr. Vigil. It's I believe like a CR. Maybe. It's an older case.
Dallas Vigil.
Yes, sir. He is, he's either in Dallas County or Tarrant County. I've actually spoken with him. I think he's got a misdemeanor possibly in Tarrant County as well. I'm dealing with Miss Curry on this case. If we could put it on the 21st, and then we should have something ready for the court by then, I think.
All right, court calls, cause number CR 21-251, State of Texas versus Dallas, Anthony Vigil. The court finds that Mr. Vigil is in custody in Dallas County. Court will reset him for status beginning January 21st.
When I get my paperwork, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. All right, I believe Mr. Millslagle will be appearing via Zoom this morning, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring him in. Mr. Watts, come on up, sir.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Millslagle. How are you, sir?
Doing well.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call this case. This is cause number CR 24-157, State of Texas versus Bennett Thomas Watts. We're set for a docket call today. I understand that there was a motion for continuance filed. Are you just requesting an additional docket call or something more than that?
Just an additional dog call, Your Honor. We spoke with the state yesterday and Ms. Curry later last night. And we just need additional time to come up with a resolution. There's some out of county stuff that may be wrapped up in this, and we just need a continuance.
Do you know how much time you may need to wrap those things up before our next hearing?
Judge, I would say probably, I know we're coming up on the holidays, probably 45 days. If you have a docket around then, should be enough time.
What about January 21st? It's a
That
little
works.
less than 45, but pretty close.
That works for me, Judge.
Okay, any objection from the state?
No objection, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, there being no objection, then Mr. Watts is set for docket call January 21st. That'll be at 9 a.m. Mr. Watts, Deputy Martinez is going to bring you a notice of appearance. Just need to have you sign that, showing that you appeared today, and you'll have your reset date there as well, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Middleslager. We're going to have him sign the notice, and he's free to go.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
Thanks, sir. Have a good day.
You.
Mr. Mesa, do me a favor, sir. We're going to take a UA this morning, so just go ahead and have a seat in the hallway, and Mr. West will come and get you after that, and then we'll do your hearing, okay? Mr. Quaid? This is cause numbers CR 24-222 and 223, State versus Jace Dale Quaid. Mr. Quaid, I had you set previously on October 29th and reset you to today so that you could have time to hire an attorney. Did you hire an attorney?
No, sir. I got sent home from work the 22nd, and I've been home for 3 weeks now. And I couldn't leave this week because I had to come to court, and I got to go back to Florida. So I just went a month basically without getting paid.
So do you not have a job anymore?
No, I have a job. I'm leaving today. We got sent home for Thanksgiving, the 22nd.
So why haven't you hired an attorney?
I'm just short a little money,
How much is a little money?
$1,500.
Who have you talked to?
Brent Thorson.
Is he the only attorney you've spoken to?
I've talked to him. Can't think of his name. He's with him in the same office as him. Steve Katner.
So how much do you have saved?
Currently like $400.
And how much, and you need 1,900 to retain him?
1,500 left to pay him.
So you have 400 saved, you need 1,100 more.
Nah, he wants 5,000. I've already given him the majority of the money.
How much have you given him?
35 almost. 35 exactly.
How long is it gonna take you to get the remainder?
This week I have bills I gotta pay, so that check will be going to that. Next check.
You have a
2
bill,
weeks.
you have a bill to pay?
I got 3 vehicles, house note, phone bills, Wi-Fi. Yes, sir.
So your felony criminal cases where you're facing up to life in prison is not as important as some of your bills. You understand that you're facing up to life in prison?
Yes, sir.
Hear what I said?
Yes, sir.
That's life with a capital L. So what am I supposed to do? Just wait until you get your life together and get it in order when it's convenient for you?
No, sir. I have a son and I can't just not provide for him.
Well, there's a good chance that if you end up in prison for the rest of your life,
I won't be able to.
you won't be able to do nothing. Someone else is going to be raising your son. Think about that. Somebody else is going to be raising your son. He won't even know you. How old's your son?
3.
3. Yeah. He might not know you ever even existed.
Mhm.
That should be very sobering for you.
It is.
So you should be waking up every morning and thinking, how am I going to get this resolved so I don't go to prison for the rest of my life? Rather than, well, I've been at home, haven't gone out to work, I don't have the money. I was going to come into court and tell this judge that I don't know. I need more time.
I mean, that's not the way I'm trying to make it seem, sir, but
Well, I need to know, well, what else are you doing? I mean, you've been at home since what, the 22nd? How many days is that?
2 weeks, 3 weeks,
So what work have you done in the last 2 weeks? 0.
sat at the house.
Sat at the house, sat at the house. You understand what I'm saying? You're facing life in prison and you're sitting at home. Then you come up here and you expect me just to reset it for you because you've been sitting at home instead of saying, hey, I've got this time at home. I can go out and pick up some odd jobs, pay off my attorney and get my attorney to come in here and do the talking for me and working with the DA's office to try to get this case resolved so you don't go to prison for the rest of your life.
Right.
So you're supposed to leave to go to work today.
I'm leaving right after this, yes, sir. Gotta go back
We
home.
don't know that. We
Right.
don't know if you're leaving. You may be leaving. You may be catching a ride over to the jail here in just a minute. I don't know. I know you're supposed to be leaving, but I don't know where you're going to be going just yet. So what am I supposed to do, Mr. Quaid? How much time am I supposed to give you?
I mean, I can get the money this week, more than likely. This paycheck. I mean, I'm only gonna have 3 days on it. Saturday.
Have you talked to friends, family?
My family don't really come from around.
Mr. Quaid, I'm going to, and I'm not saying that your responsibilities to your son and your creditors are not important. I'm just saying you better get some priorities in your life or you won't need a car. You won't need a house and you won't need a phone bill. You better start figuring out what's important in your life. And if those other things are more important, that's fine. You get to make that choice.
Right.
I'm going to give you one last reset. I'm going to set you on January 9th.
That'll work.
It's right here before Christmas. And if you come back on January 9th without an attorney, bring your toothbrush.
Yes, sir.
You're going to be staying out at the Van Zandt County Motel. Got it?
Yes, sir.
All right, Deputy Martinez is going to bring you this notice. I want you to sign it and then go to work. It's not lying. He's lying. Mr. Nat, come on up. Attorney Scott Edgett's appearing via Zoom today.
Hi, good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Edgett. Can you see and hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Can you see and hear me okay?
Yes, sir. You're coming in clear. All right, your client, Mr. Yazdi Nat, is in the courtroom. This is cause number CR 22-72. And we are set for docket call. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Nat was removed from the PTD program on a tampering charge because of a new DWI arrest in Hunt County that happened, I believe it was August or September. The Hunt County misdemeanor DWI case was just filed last month in November. We have a first appearance on January 13th at 9 a.m. in Hunt County Court 2. No discovery has been provided yet on that case, but they told me that it would be produced by I should say before or at the first court date on the 13th of January. To date, Mr. Nat has been fully compliant with his pretrial conditions since the last hearing on October 17th before the court. We're requesting a docket call reset to approximately, if possible, if we could go out a week or so after the Hunt County appearance, because I believe once we have the discovery on that case and the information that we should be able to work something out on that case and then come back to Van Zant County to the prosecutors and provide them with that information as to the result of that case on how we can dispose of this case.
Any objection from state?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Edgett, are you available on either the 21st or the 23rd of January?
Judge, I think I have a federal trial in Tyler on the 21st, but if I could just double check the date, give me 1 second. Yes, we're starting a trial in the Eastern District of Texas in Tyler before Judge Kernoodle. It starts on Tuesday, the 21st, and it will go that entire week. Is there anything available the week after?
No, the next available date would be either February 11th or February 13th.
Is either of those dates work for me, Judge, but I didn't want to go out that far for the court. Is there anything the week of the 13th later in the week at all? Would that be a possibility?
No, sir, I'm in trial that week.
Okay.
As well as the state, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, Judge. Yeah, so either of those dates in February would be perfectly fine. I know we're special set on that trial in Tyler, the federal trial, and it's going to go the entire week. It's a gun charge, so.
All right, well, I appreciate you. First of all, Mr. Edgett, I appreciate all the information that you've provided me regarding his other cases. I find that a lot of defense attorneys don't do that, so I appreciate you already having that at this point in this case. Is there any objection from the state for appearing in either February 11th or 13th?
No objection, Your Honor. I think it would be appropriate to allow the Hunt County case to kind of run a little bit of its course at least.
Okay, so Mr. Edgett, which day would you prefer, February 11th or 13th?
The 11th is fine, Judge. That's perfect.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Mr. Nat sign a notice of appearance saying that we'll have him back on February 11th at 9 a.m.
Perfect, Judge. And thank you so much for allowing me to appear via Zoom. I had a skin cancer removal happened, and I thought I'd be fine, but it's on my right calf, and I'm a bigger baby than I thought is the nicest way of putting it. So
I think I would be in the same boat as you. So yeah, hopefully you get all that taken care of and there won't be any more problems with that.
all right. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, everyone, for being so kind. Thank you again.
Yes, sir. You have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Here you go. Thank you. All right, we received word that Mr. Crawford would be late on Mr. Albrook. Mr. Bates is still doing this stuff. It looks like we're going to go ahead and take a recess. So Mr. Manning, we'll wait on Mr. Crawford and give Mr. Manning and Mr. White time to go over their paperwork. So we're going to take a brief reset. You're welcome to come in and out of the courtroom. I would say minimum 20 minutes before we start back. So it's about 9:40. So about 10 a.m. I'll be checking with the attorneys. So I'll come back and check in about that. All right. So till that time, we're in recess. We are back on record. We have any counsel that's ready? Mr. Crawford, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead and bring your client up. This is cause number CR 24-209, State of Texas versus Lloyd Hallbrook. And I believe we're set here on pretrial today. Mr. Crawford, any issues?
No, Your Honor, we got the sign-in sheet, we did the reset. I asked for some specific CPS type of, evidence, and I believe the state's gonna work to try to get that to me, so,
You see any need for any evidentiary hearings?
no.
Okay. All right, we ready to move to docket call and give y'all time to try to work out if there's going to be an agreement or any exchange of discovery?
That's fine.
All right. All right, Mr. Crawford, are you available either on January 7th or 9th?
1 second, Your Honor. Please.
Mhm.
7th or 9th?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, if I may, in light of the holidays, we are gonna have to be seeking that information. It may be that it's out of state reports that we would be looking at. That may not be enough time for us to have the information from Mr. Crawford. We'd ask maybe to push it out just slightly further out.
Yeah, that we did discuss that, Judge, maybe trying to set it out a little further, because the holidays are gonna be in the middle of all this. And if there's maybe a report from, I think it's either Louisiana or Arkansas, where the alleged victim was questioned.
Okay. And is that part of the state's case, or are you taking on getting records from other state agencies?
It may be intertwined, Your Honor, because it may be follow-up with the alleged victim from this alleged incident.
Okay. Well, let's look in February then. What about February 18th? I have
That's
some
good
other-
for me, Judge.
February 18th works.
18th? Yes,
Okay. All right, court sets Mr. Hallbrook then for docket call February 18th at 9 a.m. And Mr. Hallbrook, have you already met with the pretrial release officer, Mr. West?
Yes, sir.
You did? Okay. All right. Once Mr. Hallbrook signs his notice of appearance, then he's free to go.
Yeah, I apologize for being late.
No problem. Thanks for letting us know. Ms. Abraham told me you were
Thank
running
you.
late, so I appreciate that.
Maybe dismissed.
Yes, sir.
We filled one out up there. No, I didn't put the date on it, the time. I need to do it.
Jermaine, you ready? Who would you like first?
We can start with Mr. Perry.
Lucas Perry, CR 24145. And we're set for docket call today.
Yes, Judge, I believe we have an agreement with the state to extend this one more docket call. We have an offer. My client would like to have an opportunity to discuss with me.
All right, any objection from the state for
No, Your
additional
Honor.
docket call?
Thank
All right, court will set Mr. Perry then for Thursday, January 9th at 9 a.m. And once he signs, he's free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
And Mr. Perry, I need you to be here on time so that I'm not wondering where you're at.
Yes,
or worried about revoking your bail.
Yes, sir. Right. Thank you.
Yes. Who's next?
Judge, last but not least, we have a plea on Mr. Ulibarri.
Mr. Ulibarri, you'll come forward. This is cause number CR 24155. Mr. Wentz. All right, sir, if you'll raise your right hand, I'm going to place you under oath. Do you swear that the testimony you give to the court today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, you can lower your hand. Your name is Patrick Dennis Ulibarri, is that correct?
Ulibarri.
Ulibarri?
Yeah.
And Mr. Ulibarri, are you a United States citizen who reads, writes, and speaks English?
Yes.
Have you ever been diagnosed with a mental condition?
I have PTSD and bipolar.
Are you currently on medication for those?
No,
Do you feel like you have a rational understanding today and that those conditions are not interfering with your ability to understand what's going on?
yes, sir.
All right, and in this case, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. Jonathan Manning. Are you pleased with Mr. Manning and the work he's done for you?
Very much.
And you understand everything that you have read and signed in your plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions before we go further?
No, sir.
Mr. Manning, do you believe Mr. Ulibarri is competent to enter into this agreement?
I do, Judge.
And you've explained to him his rights and also the advantages and disadvantages of a deferred adjudication plea?
I have, Judge.
All right, Mr. Ulibarri, it appears that you were originally indicted with a third-degree felony offense of assault of a pregnant person. It appears that the state is offered and recommending to the court today that you plead to a lesser offense of a Class A misdemeanor assault causes bodily injury of a family member. And they are recommending that the court consider the evidence but not convict you and place you on 18 months of community supervision with a fine of $250 plus court costs and reimbursement fees. Is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
That's what you're asking the court to approve?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Ulibarri, then the range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor is confinement in the Van Zandt County Jail for a period not to exceed 365 days and or a fine of not more than $4,000. So understanding the range of punishment, understanding the plea agreement, Mr. Ulibarri, how do you plead to assault causes bodily injury of a family member?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty to that crime because you are in fact guilty of committing that crime?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ulibarri, has anybody threatened or forced or pressured you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Court will accept the defendant's plea of guilt at this time. Mr. Manning, any objection to the stipulation of evidence?
None is offered.
All right, stipulation is admitted. Court takes judicial notice of the defendant's judicial confession. Anything further from the state?
Your Honor, only that as far as victim contact goes, we have been in contact with the alleged victim in the case, or I guess the victim in the case. And while our office does not accept ANPs anymore, she expressed that her desire was to have filed one if we did accept them. So she is, we are in compliance.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hartwell. Anything further from the defense?
Rest in post, Judge.
All right, court will consider the evidence. All right, court having viewed the evidence finds that there is sufficient evidence to convict the defendant. The court will follow the plea agreement and recommendation of the DA's office. The court hereby defers a finding of guilt on a Class A misdemeanor assault causes bodily injury of a family member. The court places Mr. Ulibarri on community supervision for 18 months, orders him to pay a $250 fine, $270 court costs, and $535 in reimbursement fees. All right, Mr. Ulibarri, I'm gonna have you come forward to be fingerprinted with Deputy Banda, and then after that, you'll meet with the probation officers. And they'll give you more information. Is that all you have until this afternoon, Mr. Manning?
Yes, Judge.
All right, hey, hope you feel better over the lunch period.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mr. White, are you ready, sir?
Yeah.
Who would you like to call first?
Let's call Mr.
Cause number CR 24-144, State versus 2, Yoon Nguyen. And is this set for plea today?
It was, Your Honor. We're gonna have to ask the court for some more time. I was talking with Mr. Hartwell. We've got some issues. We've got some additional charges as well on this. And as we've got to talking about it, we wanted to talk a little further about a couple of things. I think the January 21st date would be sufficient.
Any objection from the state?
No objection, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, court will set Mr. Nguyen for a final docket call. January 21st. So on that day, he'll either plea or waive jury trial, or we'll do something dispositive on, or set him for trial.
Yes, sir.
21st.
It's Mr. Nguyen free to go.
Free to go.
Thank you.
Ready on Ms. Jones?
Is the,
I have to
oh,
take it. Ms. Jones? CR 24-168, State of Texas versus Nicole Jan Jones. Ms. Jones, if you'll raise your right hand, I'm going to place you under oath. You swear that the testimony you give to the court today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, you can lower your hand. Your name is Nicole Jan Jones, is that correct?
Yes.
And Ms. Jones, are you a United States citizen who reads, writes, and speaks English?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been diagnosed with any mental conditions?
No.
In this case, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. Nolan White. Are you pleased with Mr. White? The work was done for you?
Yes.
You understand everything that you've read and signed today?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions before we go further? Mr. White, do you believe Ms. Jones to be competent?
yes, Your Honor, I believe Ms. Jones to be competent, that she understands the proceedings that are pending against her here today. Before the court, we have some waivers. She's executed those waivers knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily. Additionally, if the court goes along with a plea agreement, she'll be placed on deferred adjudication. I would note to the court that I've explained to her the range of the punishment on the Class B misdemeanor that she will be entering a plea of guilty on, and explain to her the advantages and disadvantages of entering such a plea, most notably if she violates any term or condition, court holds a hearing and determines that she did, the court could sentence her up to 180 days in jail and a fine not to exceed $2,000.
Thank you, Mr. White. Ms. Jones, I see that you were originally indicted with a different crime. You were indicted with a third-degree felony offense of hindering apprehension or prosecution of a known felon. However, today it looks like the DA's office is making a different recommendation and plea agreement with you. They're asking the court to defer a finding of guilt, that means not convict you of this offense, to place you on community supervision to a lesser offense, a Class B misdemeanor offense of false statement to law enforcement. That does carry a range of punishment if you were to be convicted and sentenced on a Class B misdemeanor of confinement in the county jail for a period not to exceed 180 days, or a maximum fine up to $2,000. As part of your community supervision, you'd be on 15 months of community supervision. You would also have fines of $750 plus court costs and reimbursement fees. Is that your understanding, Ms. Jones?
Yes, sir.
All right. So understanding all of that, how do you plead to false statement to a law enforcement officer, a Class B misdemeanor?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty to that crime because you are in fact guilty of committing that crime?
Yes.
Has anybody threatened, forced, or pressured you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Court accepts the defendant's plea of guilt at this time. Mr. White, any objection to the stipulation of evidence?
No objection.
Stipulation of evidence is admitted and the court takes judicial notice of the defendant's judicial confession. Anything further from the state?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything further from the defendants?
No, sir, we don't have anything.
All right, court will consider the evidence. Court, having reviewed the evidence, finds that there is enough evidence to convict the defendant. Court will follow the plea agreement today. Court defers a finding of guilt on a Class B misdemeanor offensive false statement to police officer, places Ms. Jones on 15 months of community supervision, orders her to pay a $750 fine, $270 in court costs, and $35 in reimbursement fees. All right, Ms. Jones, you hereby remanded to the custody of the probation department so they can carry out the terms and conditions of the sentence. I'm gonna have you come forward with Deputy Bandit to be fingerprinted, and then the probation officers will give you more information. State, I'll need you to sign these two documents.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, this is a sanctions court hearing, CO 19-1. State of Texas versus Dylan Ray Mesa. All right, Mr. Mesa, looks like, back on September, September 24th, you appeared and I gave you a 2-day buyback. I gave you, 1 day in jail for 10 hours of community service, actually 1 day each for 10 hours of community service. Says that you have complied with that, you guys was issued your probation location.
Yes, sir.
Last time. So I'm gonna have you come back on January 9th. These are the things that I fix.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to place you on intensive supervision.
Yes, sir.
For a week.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna order that you do 20 hours of home service.
Yes, sir. Every month?
You're gonna come back in January. I want you to do 20 hours before you come back to court.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Might not be 20 hours every month. We're trying to get you caught up.
Yes, sir.
And I know you made a donation of cans, but the problem you have is that you're not eligible for that if you are delinquent.
Yes, sir.
So the way to rectify that is to put current on your fees, and then you get full credit.
I have a question.
Hang on, let me finish.
Yes, sir. I apologize.
And I'm gonna order you to pay $215. That's your delinquency. So I want you to pay $215 to probation. That'll get you caught up on your fees. You'll then get credit for your donation.
Of the full one, all the cans? Okay.
I'm saying you get caught up $215 for January 9th. We'll give you full credit for hours. It's not.
Yes, sir.
One or the other. You still need to go out and do 20 hours and then you'll get credit once you get. So what's your question?
Once I get caught up on these, in total, I actually brought more than 40 cans. I brought 176 cans, and the limit is only 40, correct? Okay, so another question. Say, I pay the delinquent amount tomorrow, and I can deliver the 40 cans, and let's say I come back Monday, can I deliver another 40 cans? No, it's just once a month of the 40. Okay, that's all I was confused about.
That answer your question.
Yes, sir.
All right, so January 9th, we're gonna come back. And so today, we're gonna amend you for, placement on intensive supervision. They're gonna have the paperwork for that. Need 20 hours of community service. Remember, you've got 500 that we're working off. You've done about 100. I'm trying to get you caught up on that. Once we start seeing Dylan, you get to the point where you're getting caught up, then we can go back down to 10. That's what you're supposed to be doing, is 10.
Yes, sir.
But you're behind, so we gotta get you caught up. So, the harder that you work towards that, the more likely that next months we can get back on the 10. With some time. Okay,
Sir.
20 hours community service and pay $215 towards your delinquencies. Okay,
Yes, sir. And also I have an answer why I have missed my last court date as well. I called a few hours before the court date, to get the reasoning, and the reasoning was my wheel bearing and my spindle inside our SUV only had one car at the time. It had went out, and once that goes out, you can't drive it, man. And after that, man, I almost got fired because I wouldn't be able to make it to work. And so I took all my savings, which is about 2,000, and my mother actually put in 3,000 to get us a new car. So that was the reason why, And also another reason why I'm kind of falling behind, because I spent all my money on the car.
and I know life can be challenging. I know it can be difficult at times. We're gonna keep on working with you, so I appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
The whole reason you're in sanctions court is because I'm trying to help you get through to the other side rather than sent to prison. Okay, so
Thank you, man.
I understand that life hits you sometimes. Keep on, being on this and forthcoming and hardworking through probation, and then we will not be here to trip you up. Okay.
Thank you.
Break it.
Address as well?
No.
It's changed.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
So once you get your yellow copy there, come back here, see me sperm, we'll have you sign some paperwork, and you're good to go.
All right, I'm gonna grab my hat.
Go ahead, grab everything. All right, so for the record, this afternoon, Mr. Platten he has substituted as attorney for, Umberto Vergara, CR 2440. It's set for arraignment day. Mr. Vergara and Mr. Platten have filed a waiver of arraignment, and pretrial is set January 21st. So we're not going to bring them up today. All right, so that looks like it does conclude this morning's criminal docket. Court will stand in recess until 1:30 for the afternoon.